I think you're going to say today, it sounds as if you've become a Brexiteer at this stage in your life.
Well, we are going to be leaving the EU. Article 50 will be triggered, and therefore it's up to us to negotiate with the European Union on this. And indeed, the Labour Party is hosting a meeting of European Socialist parties at the end of February in London in order to build alliances with colleagues across Europe about the kind of economic and political relationship we'll have with Europe after we leave the European Union.
And what will that be? What do you want that to be? Do you want to be a member of the single market?
We have to have a trading relationship with Europe. What form that takes, whether it's a member of the single market or some special relationship, has to be worked out. But the majority of our exports and trade are with the European Union. Therefore, there has to be a close economic relationship with Europe. You can't avoid it. What we don't want to do is turn Britain into a bargain basement economy on the shores of Europe, where we continuously reduce corporate taxation, encourage a low-wage economy with undercutting going on. Instead, what we want, surely, is a high-value economy with skilled jobs promoting good quality exports and trade with Europe.
Later this year, that depends, of course, on a Tory meltdown in Parliament. But what would it mean for the British economy and our negotiations to leave the EU? He joins me now. You've got a reputation as a straight talker and clear answers. There's one issue on which you won't give a clear answer. When you're asked, would you like to see us leave the single market, you can't tell us.
The single market is dependent on membership of the EU. What we've said all along is that we want a tariff-free trade, access to the European market and a partnership with Europe in the future.
But
this question from Charles Hudson, please.
How can Britain face up to international challenges like Russian intervention in Crimea without the political weight which comes from being part of the European Union?
So political weight coming from the European Union. Nigel Farage.
By not becoming a political union with an expansionist foreign policy, with an aim to militarise as quickly as they can. Indeed, Baroness Cathy Ashton, the British Commissioner, is pushing very hard for a European Air Force and for a series of drones. And if you actually look at what's happened with the Ukraine, we've had a message that's been sent out now for 10 years, and this is not just the EU. Indeed, David Cameron, Nick Clegg, and I'm afraid Ed Miliband too. And the answer to Charles's question is, I don't want to be part of a European foreign policy.
The problem... But this is a dangerous fantasy. The idea that there's going to be a European Air Force, a European army, it is simply not true.
We can't change it. We wake up on Friday, we don't like it, and we're being sold it on a lie. They lied about the European army because we've got a veto over that.
Our European partners, we're not going to change course. They're not changing course on anything. They're still progressing with the European army plans. Everything suggests ever closer union is still on the cards.
The UK always stood in the way of greater military cooperation within the EU, but June's referendum result has removed a major obstacle, clearing the way for European leaders keen on more military integration to pursue their ambitions.
Nous devons également nous orienter vers des ressources militaires communes.
We should work towards a common military force, and this should be in complement with NATO.
No doubt you respect the result of the decision here on June the 23rd, but it has a personal element. It does affect people. It affects EU citizens living in Britain, of which there are about 3 million with their families, and UK citizens living in the EU, which are about over 1 million. Why not just take them off the table now? Why not say that any EU citizen in the UK has guaranteed rights indefinitely, and any UK citizen living in the EU has guaranteed rights indefinitely? Why not do that now?
Full support. Full support, we can agree on this. That is a starting point already. That is a fair treatment.
But Mrs. Merkel has turned that down.
We want to have this fair treatment, and at the moment, nobody wants to start negotiations. You know the principle from the European Council.
But I'm saying that my point I'm putting to you is that they should not be part of the negotiations. And yet, when Mrs. May made that offer to the German Chancellor, she turned it down.